Okay, welcome to the webinar. I'm very excited to present to you today. I thank you all for your attendance and participation. We're going to talk about how to grow your business with Every Door Direct Mail. This is a program that was launched by the United States Postal Service. It's grown incredibly since launch over the last few years, and it is the most affordable and easiest way to start using direct mail to grow your business or grow your organization. And we're going to go through the ins and outs of that program today. And to get started, what I'd like to do is quickly walk through the agenda. I'm going to do a quick introduction in a moment here, and then we're going to dive right into the core Every Door direct mail product. So we're going to talk about why it was created, how it works, how you can use it, and the different ways you can use it. So we'll cover the full spectrum around the product, and hopefully I'll answer all of your initial questions about it. Then we're going to get into some direct mail facts and statistics. In particular, I want to contrast direct mail with a lot of the digital media advertising opportunities that are out there. And this is all going to be based off recent 2015 data. So if you've got questions about, should I invest my marketing dollars into digital or direct mail, I think there'll be some eye-opening facts and statistics there that you'll want to pay attention to. Then we'll switch gears a little bit, and we're going to talk about how to create winning direct mail campaigns. So we've mailed over 60 million direct mail flyers and postcards, and we've seen what works and what doesn't. So there's some basic marketing fundamentals and best practices that you can apply to your own campaigns to get the most return on investment. So I think that'll be a great part of the webinar for you. We'll also cover the top 10 uses for Every Door direct mail. So across all industries, certain things hold true. People want to drive sales. They want to reach new prospects in their market. They need to get people to their store. All these different reasons you would use direct mail. We're going to cover those, and hopefully it'll give you some new ideas for your own business or organization as well. Then we'll switch to the live demo. This is the part I'm actually most excited about. I'm going to do an example scenario for a small business where you will see exactly how to set up, plan, and launch your own direct mail campaign. So we will walk through step by step from start to finish how to launch your own direct mail campaign, and the whole thing only takes 10 minutes or less to do. Then we will start to wrap up. I'm going to answer all of the FAQs, so that will kind of hopefully answer the main questions you have. How much does it cost? How long does it take to deliver? All these kinds of questions we'll cover. And then if you have any additional questions, you can submit them through the GoToWebinar console, and I will do my best to answer all of your questions at that time as well. Then we'll have a special guest. I've asked Wendy Urquhart, our VP of Business Development, to join the webinar. The reason for that is we have hundreds of people signed up for this webinar, and a lot of you work with larger corporations or national brands, franchisors, and I think it would be very helpful to cover just briefly the solutions and the white label capabilities that we have that would enable you to launch direct mail campaigns for all of your members, or make it easy for all of your members to launch their own direct mail campaign. So she's going to cover that. She's an expert in that area. She works with some of the biggest brands in the world, and she is the main point of contact here between our company and those brands. So that will be exciting, and I think it'll serve a large segment of our attendees today. Then we will wrap up with some free stuff. Always a good thing, right? We will get you a $50 off promo code that you can use on any Every Door direct mail campaign. So that will help you get started if you're new to the program, or if you want to launch another campaign, and this is kind of a refresher for you today, that will help you out there as well. I've also attached a free handout to this webinar. So in your GoToWebinar console, you can download the EDDM marketing checklist. It's a PDF file, and especially if you're new to this program, it will give you a checklist where you can go step by step and make sure that you've done all the main things you need to do to be successful with your Every Door direct mail campaign. So download that checklist. It'll be a big help, especially if you're getting started. Okay, so let's move along here. Quick introductions. It is nice to meet you. I am Chris Barr. I'm the Director of Marketing for Teardale and EveryDoorDirectMail.com. I've got 10 years of integrated marketing experience, so I work heavily in direct mail, but also in all of the newer digital technologies, automation, all that kind of stuff. So hopefully I'm a good person to listen to today. I've definitely got a lot of experience, in modern marketing, integrated campaigns. So I will share whatever advice I can. I've worked with over 1,000 small business clients in my decade or so here. So I understand your needs and kind of your pain points as a business owner, and I will walk you through the live demo as a small business owner in an example scenario just to help it make more sense for you, and I think that'll be a good thing. I've also been involved with EveryDoor Direct Mail since day one, and just a quick fun fact, I'm the person who physically registered the EveryDoorDirectMail.com domain name, so that probably gives you a little bit of an idea of how long I've been doing this. Wendy, who I want to introduce, she's got 20 years of strategic account management experience. She's traveled the world, she's on the road more often than not, and she is responsible for all of our relationships with the national brands that we work with, governments throughout the world that we have partnerships with, that use our technology. And she is just, an amazing person to work with if you're a part of a larger corporation or franchisor, for example. And a little fact about Wendy, she has closed millions in sales for the EveryDoor Direct Mail product specifically. She knows what she's doing, so I think her segment on this webinar a little bit later will be very helpful. And then just a little bit about Teardale. Teardale owns and operates EveryDoorDirectMail.com. The company was established in 2003. We are located and headquartered in Richmond, Virginia, and largely as a result of our commitment to direct mail technologies, we have made the Inc. 5000 list for 8 years in a row, and that's significant. I think there's only 150, maybe 200 companies ever to make it 8 years in a row. And as I alluded to earlier, we've mailed over 60 million pieces, so hopefully that gives you some confidence in our abilities here. All right, so let's talk about EveryDoor Direct Mail. EDDM is a program that was created by the United States Postal Service that enables advertisers or small business owners, for example, to send solo mail to every address at the carrier route level with fewer requirements. So with EDDM, you don't need a mailing list. You don't have to inkjet every name and address onto each piece. There's no tabbing or stickers that need to hold your pieces together or any of the traditional mail house services required. There's no traditional postal processing either. So what that means is with reduced requirements come reduced cost. EDDM is a more streamlined and more cost-effective way to do direct mail. There are two ways you can use EveryDoor Direct Mail, and I'm going to cover both. The first one is called the retail method. This is basically the method where everything falls into your lap in terms of responsibilities and preparation. So if you're using the retail method, what you're basically doing is from design to printing to doing all the paperwork and getting your pieces to the post office, you do everything. You need to, design the piece yourself or work with an agency or a designer to do that. You need to find a print vendor that can print all your pieces and make sure that they qualify and meet the requirements for EDDM. Then you will have to do all of your route selection and targeting through the USPS website. So you're going to have to go on there, find the routes within the zip codes that you want to target, and you can do all of that at the USPS.com website. Then once you've made all your targeting selections, you're going to have to do all of the mail prep. So there's paperwork, forms, and bundling that are required before you present all of your printed pieces to the local post office. And there is basically a user manual or set of guidelines that is available at USPS.com that will walk you through that. Once you've got your pieces printed, your route selected, and your mail prep work done, you would take them to your local post office with all of that documentation in bundles. and pay for the postage at that point at the counter. Now, with the retail method, there are limitations to the quantities you can mail per day. So you can mail a maximum of 5,000 pieces per zip code per day. So if you're looking to do a saturation mailing into a zip code with 20,000 people, for example, the retail method might not be a good fit for you. If it is, you would have to space it out over the course of several days. So just to recap, the retail method, you're basically doing everything. You're hiring the designer and the printer. You're doing all the prep work. You're going to have to target all the routes and prospects that you want to reach at the EDDM.USPS.com website. And you're going to have to stick to their user manual and guidelines to make sure you follow the procedure correctly. So it's something you can certainly do if you're experienced with direct mail and all their kind of paperwork and everything. It might not be a bad option for you. It definitely takes more time and legwork. I would say time is the biggest investment there. So for a lot of business owners, time is the most valuable asset that you have, and I think that's why the all-inclusive method, which I'm going to show you and talk about in a second, is a better fit for most of the business owners. Now, if you've got people dedicated to doing your design and printing that you could assign this sort of project to manage your campaign, retail might be a better fit. But generally speaking, the all-inclusive method, which is also known as the 10-minute method, is a great option if you're a small business owner. With the all-inclusive method, you get to choose from 3 design options. So A, you can upload your own files. If you've got print-ready design PDF files, for example, you just upload them to the site and you're done. B, you can choose from thousands of free design templates, and those are categorized by industry. So if you're a dental practice, a tax firm, a pizza restaurant, whatever you do, there's probably a design template for you available. And then if you choose a free design template, one of our in-house professional designers will actually customize it for you absolutely free of charge. So we'll add your logo, put your offers or text on there. We'll do everything for you for free. And you would get to see a proof of it every step of the way. And then C, the last option is to get professional design service. So this is really if you want something custom designed from scratch at a very affordable rate. For usually between $100 and $200, depending on the product that you select, we will have a professional designer create from scratch your own direct mail piece. So this might be a good solution if there's not a free template, for example, that you like. Okay, so 3 easy design options, all of which are either free or affordable. The full color printing is included with the all-inclusive method. So you will have your postcards or flyers printed on a commercial grade stock with commercial level results, and they're printed full color front and back. So you'll get excellent results that way, and it's all bundled in. There's also very easy route selection. So when we get to the live demo, I'm going to show you how you can basically just point and click where you want your mail delivered. So you basically enter an address, you get to see all of the local mailing options and how many people live in each area, and you can even apply demographics to help you target the right prospects. So all the route selection is included as well. And best of all, there is no mail prep and no paperwork required. You just make you just build your campaign online and you are done. So you literally do not have to fill out one sheet of paper. We do all that for you. It's all automated and guaranteed to be filled out correctly. And then your pieces are delivered through trackable priority mail to the correct post office for distribution into homes. So that's guaranteed to get to the USPS. You can track it via priority mail, and again, it's all automated. And there are no daily quantity limits. So if you're looking to do, let's say you have a car dealership and you want to do some type of holiday promotion and reach 50,000 homes, you can do that with no daily quantity limits. So that's a great thing as well. And the way it works is you basically go through 3, excuse me, you basically go through 3 easy steps through everydoordirectmail.com. You target the prospects, you plan your campaign, and then you check out, and it's that easy. And you get top-rated customer support every step of the way. Okay, so let's move along here. Let's talk about some direct mail facts and statistics. So this is all recent 2015 data, and you'll see here that I've made a few bullet points. Direct mail averages a 3.7% response rate with a house list. So if you have an in-house list, direct mail is extremely effective. And then if you're doing a campaign to a prospect list, you'll still get a 1% response on average, which is actually a huge number. Now, in certain industries, like if you're a pizza restaurant doing a buy one, get one free offer, I've seen the response rates go up to 10, 11, 12%. Now, this 1% averages across all industries. So think of the other side of the spectrum where if you're selling a luxury vehicle, you might get a much lower response rate, but if you get one sale out of it, it covers the whole, expense of the campaign, and then, you've got profit margin built in there too. So this is a number that reflects the average response rates across all industries. They certainly vary greatly within each industry. And the main thing is that you want to make sure that you send a relevant offer to the right prospects, and you will set yourself up for success. Oversized mailers, such as large postcards, for example, get a 4.25% response rate, which is absolutely phenomenal. And with Everydoor Direct Mail, one of the great things about this program is that all the products that qualify are oversized products. So from giant postcards to huge, folded brochures, your pieces are going to be oversized mailers, and you will get a better response as a result. They just stand out more. When you compare some of this data to digital channels, you can see the difference in response rates. So digital channels combined, when you look across the whole spectrum, get about a 0.62% response rate, which is nearly half of what direct mail gets you. So keep that in mind. I mean, digital in a lot of cases is just easier to do. It's you can track it right away and all that kind of good stuff. But you do pay a price for it. You don't get the same type of response, and you don't make the same type of impression. Certainly, I'm a believer in digital marketing, but there's a time and place for both. And usually, to get the best results for your business or organization, you need a healthy mix. So direct mail should definitely be a part of that mix based on the response rates and return that you'll get on your investment. And speaking of return on investment, direct mail averages a 15 to 17% ROI. That is a phenomenal number, and one that should really jump off the page at you here. So when you're doing marketing, all that really matters at the end of the day is making a good impression and getting a return on your investment. Direct mail will help you do that. So keep that in mind. And just to show you the type of effectiveness and impact direct mail has, every year, on average, over 3 billion coupons are redeemed. So if you think about Black Friday, which is timely, we just had Black Friday here in the U.S., and massive sales. You can see the type of activity and kind of the way coupons and offers work people up. Well, direct mail is a big part of that, and the coupon redemption every year is a sign of how alive and well that approach is. Okay. Now, a little bit more about comparing direct mail versus digital. So consumers who receive direct mail ads recall the message or your offer 75% of the time. So when you send something in, through the mail, and someone picks up their mail when they get home from work and they look through it, whether they decide to use your product or service right away, or maybe it comes into play later when they need it, 75% of those people are going to recall your message, and that is absolutely huge. So you're making a very strong impression, whether they buy from you today or buy from you later. Whereas in digital, if someone receives the same ad in a digital format, they're only going to recall your message or offer 44% of the time. So a dramatic drop in recall rates. So I think a lot of that just has to do with the bombardment we all experience every day from messaging across digital platforms. So think when you're on Facebook, when you're checking your email or on Gmail or browsing the web, you're constantly bombarded with offers, whereas when you check the mail each day, it's a one-time occurrence. You look through things It's a physical interaction, and it just makes more of an impression. Whereas direct mail, whereas digital, a lot of digital just kind of turns into white noise for people, over time. So keep that in mind when you're looking at your marketing strategy. And direct mail, all of the research, now that we've got the technology to do it, a lot of the neuroscience research where they're tracking people's, kind of brain waves and looking at what, engages them and what doesn't, it takes the human 21% less cognitive effort to process a physical direct mail offer than it does a digital communication. So think about that. We are wired as human beings to respond to physical interaction. So it's kind of like, when you see a YouTube video of somebody versus when you, maybe go have dinner with them or meet them in person. That physical interaction is going to be a lot more meaningful for both parties. And the way we're wired, people respond more to a physical interaction. So that's powerful stuff. And when I was creating this webinar, it posed the question to me, and I put it on here for you all to ponder as well. In a digital world, is physical communication and interaction more meaningful than before? So we all are caught up in the technology-driven world, and that's a very positive thing in so many ways. And it's great, but does that make physical communication and interaction even more meaningful? I think it does in a lot of ways, and I thought that'd be an interesting thought to ponder as we move forward here. Okay, so let's switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about creating winning direct mail campaigns. So from all of our experience and millions and millions and millions of offers delivered, here's what we recommend to get the best results. A, you want to look professional. Make your offer, your postcard, your flyer, whatever it is you decide to mail out, make it reflect your business in a positive manner. When someone gets it, they should say, wow, that looks great, or at least have that thought cross their mind. If you look less than ideal, if your offer just isn't well put together, instantly people will notice that, and it will not reflect highly of your business. Okay, so make it look incredible. Then you want to use a compelling offer and keep it simple. So your offer should be something that is straight to the point. Save X amount, save 50%, buy one, get one free. Those types of offers are very easy to digest, and when people are scanning their mail, those are the things that pop out and drive action or get them to look into your offer more. So keep your offer very compelling and keep it simple. One of the other things that's absolutely critical with direct mail is to make your offer time or quantity limited. What I mean by that is if you're doing a 50% off sale, don't just do 50% off. Do 50% off this week only, or through December 25th only, or put some type of restrictor or limiter on it so that people know they better act right away as opposed to waiting until they feel like doing it later. You can also do a limited quantity, so only 100 available or while supplies last. That kind of message will help as well. Okay? And then you want to target the right customer. An offer is only as good as the audience that receives it. So if you're sending the world's best offer to the world's most irrelevant audience, it's still not going to perform well, right? So you want to make sure you have a great mix of the right offer going to the right audience. Think about the people that currently buy from you, and what does that profile look like? And make sure that your offer and imaging and messaging is going to connect with that audience. Okay? And timing is everything. Think about it. If your offer delivers at the wrong time, so let's go back to Black Friday, which just occurred. If your offer for Black Friday hit this week, after Black Friday, obviously it's a bust. So you want to make sure that timing is in place. If you have Black Friday offers to send out, you want to make sure those offers deliver at least a week or maybe even 2 weeks out of Black Friday so that people have time to get it and make considerations for your product or service. And keep in mind about the competitive nature there too. You want them to get your offer not after they've already probably bought something from somebody else, right? So just think about the timing. You want to make sure that the offer makes sense to the audience at the right time. And it doesn't have to just be for a holiday. It could just be something that's seasonal or just makes sense in a broader picture. Okay, so timing is everything. Now, creating a winning direct mail campaign, a lot of it comes down to the actual marketing piece that you're sending out. So whether it's a flyer or a postcard, what I did is I just sketched this out. You can see I did it on a sheet of notebook paper. What a fundamental, effective mailer looks like. Okay, and there's several elements that make up a great mailer. So let's go over them briefly one by one. The headline. The headline should be persuasive and grab their attention. That is absolutely critical. Your headline should never be something that doesn't make a point. So your headline could be something that is offer-driven, like get a free sample, or free limited time offer, or it could even ask a question. Do you want to lose weight, or something that's going to make an impact and persuade them to read further. Okay, so make sure your headline is relevant and powerful and short and makes a statement. Then you're going to want to include a very high quality photo or product shot that will support the whole message that you're delivering. So if you're a dental practice, for example, the headline might be, free consultation for whiter teeth, and you would want to have a product shot or a photo that shows, maybe a family with great smiles, or something that is positive within your space. Okay. You may also want to show, if you're selling a retail product, maybe, let's say you're a pizzeria, you might want to show a picture of a, mouth-watering, delicious-looking pizza or food item. Okay. So make sure that photo or product shot supports your message and your offer, and make sure it's very high resolution. Don't grab an image off the web or something like that. Make sure it's a very high quality, high resolution image. Now the sales copy should support your headline and your message as well. And the sales copy, what it should not be is just kind of marketing fluff. If the sales copy that you use doesn't further engage the reader or doesn't support your offer or your message, it's simple, just leave it out, okay? So if it's not adding value to the recipient and furthering your message in a powerful and meaningful way, just leave it out. So make sure your sales copy supports, your message. It could be maybe some, some quick facts about your product or service, or something that, is going to resonate with that recipient, and, just keep it short and simple. The benefits should be listed below the headline and sales copy in a very simple bulleted or checkmark format. I find checkmarks work a little bit better because they infer, something positive. And you want to keep your list of benefits to maybe 3 or 5 bullet points. And make sure those benefits, if you have 100 benefits for your product or service, pick the top ones that will resonate with the audience you're marketing to. So, make it the most compelling benefits you can that offer the most value, and just list those in a plain bolded type format. You'll also want to include a testimonial or authority indicator. So if you're a service-oriented business, let's say you are a tax firm or a medical practice or in healthcare, you might want to include a testimonial from a recent customer or patient that speaks about the quality of your service and the great experience they had. And where possible, include a little image, maybe like a little headshot of that person as well. It just helps personalize the testimonial and make it look more, authentic. On the flip side, if you're selling retail products or you don't really have a great testimonial, you can also substitute an authority indicator in place of a testimonial. So if you've got an A+ rating with the BBB, you can include that image there. If you've won some awards, you can include the logo. If you've been featured on different publications or anything like that, news sites, things like that, you can include that there. It just helps to authenticate your offer and put a little authority behind it. So that's always the best practice. And then the most important thing, the offer or the call to action. Now, there's been a lot of research that shows the way people read and scan. And in the U.S., people read from left to right and top to bottom. So their iPath, if you look at your offer, think about the way people are going to look at it. They're going to go from the top to the bottom, left to right. So your offer should always be where their eyes end up, which is the bottom right. So make sure your offer is powerful and located in the right place, and it just should jump off the page. So if you highlight one part of your offer or your mail piece, make sure it's the offer. And then you want to have a clear next step. So you get them the offer, and then what do they do to get the offer? And that should be call now with the phone number, or go to this web link and enter this promo code, or however you want to do that. Just make sure the offer is clear and the next step is literally spelled out for them. It's not enough just to include your phone numbers and contact information somewhere on the piece. You want to tell them exactly what to do. Okay, you'll get a much better result that way. So that's what a typical high-performing postcard or flyer could look like. Now, certainly there's a lot of different creative ways to do a mailer, but if you're just starting out or not sure what to do, rely on these marketing best practices. This format is a proven winner. Okay, and I'm just going to quickly run through the top 10 most popular uses for everyday direct mail. New customer acquisition, it's a no-brainer. You can use it to increase sales and drive revenue. You can drive people to your store, your retail location, or website. You can send mailers out to announce a grand opening, or maybe your business is relocating to a new facility, and you can use direct mail to announce that. You can introduce products and services. So even if you're a well-established company or brand, I'm sure that you have new products and services available or new offers. So keep things fresh. Constantly introduce new products and services. Keep people excited about your business and aware of what you're doing. You can also use it to promote events or special offers. So if you're partnering with a local charity or doing a fundraiser, anything like that, everyday direct mail is a perfect way to promote that event and get people involved in your local community. Along with that, building community awareness in the first place. So if people don't know about your business or your kind of mission or what you're doing, use direct mail to build that awareness within the community. You can also use everyday direct mail to deliver content. So let's say, for example, you're an attorney or a tax firm, and you want to let people know about, new changes to laws or regulations that that might impact them. Excuse me. You can use everyday direct mail to deliver content. For example, a newsletter that has your branding and business information on it, but it's essentially a newsletter where you're adding value by giving them content that's going to help them. What that will do is it will turn you into the local subject matter expert, or SME for short. You can become a local subject matter expert on a specific topic or niche that will serve you well for years and years to come. You can also use direct mail to develop new markets. So if you're established in a market and you want to try opening up new markets, maybe that surround your business or that you think would be a good fit, you can do direct mail campaigns that are targeted to specific markets and get new customers or prospects or supporters from those markets. And then you can also use it to ward off competitors. So if you've got other businesses or competitors that are heavily marketing or doing a great job with their own marketing, you should have a program in place to compete with that. So if they're sending out an offer for X, you may want to send an offer that's better than X, and just stay competitive. Competitors, keep a lot of people up at night, and direct mail is a great way to ward off those competitors and keep your business front and center to your target market. Okay, so now let's get to the live demo. I'm really excited about this part. We are going to walk through exactly how to launch an everyday direct mail campaign, and this is super easy to do. So what you do first is you go to everydaydirectmail.com and you register an account. Okay, you can see I'm logged in here. I'm not going to bore you with the details of how to register. Obviously, if you're on this webinar today, you know how to register for things. So you just fill out your information and you're good to go. Once you're registered, you can either click on Find Prospects, okay, right on the home page, or you can click on Target. When you do that, it's going to take you right into the online campaign builder and mapping tool. To get started, you need to enter a physical address. So usually this is going to be your business address. I'm going to go ahead and enter in my office address here and zip code. So in your case, you would enter in your business, and you hit go. And the map is just going to take a minute to load all the local carrier routes and mailing options. And once this is done, it's going to give us a blue Show Me button. There it is right here. So you click on that, and then bam, you're in the mapping tool. Now, a couple quick notes about the functionality of the mapping tool. You can click and drag the map around, so it works kind of like Google Maps in that regard. And you'll see a pinpoint on it that represents your physical location, whatever address you entered. And if you want to zoom in or zoom out, there's a plus or minus feature in the top left-hand corner here. And this is really cool. If you zoom in enough, you will get all the street names. So that can help you get your bearings. So we're in this corporate center here. There's a lot of neighborhoods and communities around here. There's a huge retail shopping center nearby and all that good stuff. So you'll be able to get all that information for your area. And then in terms of targeting, let's talk about all these little funny looking shapes here. So all these little different shapes that turn pink when I hold the mouse over them are postal carrier routes. A carrier route is what the USPS uses to deliver mail. So you've got a letter carrier that delivers to carrier routes. And a carrier route is kind of like a neighborhood. It's a group of streets that make up a carrier route, and then multiple carrier routes make up a zip code. So you can see this is route 007. If you look in this left-hand carrier route info box here, this is carrier route 010 inside of zip code 23060. There's another one in the same zip code and another one. So this one's in a different zip code. So you can see how different zip codes are made up of different carrier routes. Now, in the same carrier route info box, as you hold your mouse over any of these routes, it will give you an instant breakdown as to how many residential and business mailboxes are available in that route. So as you move around here, you'll see this one has homes and apartments, but not a lot of businesses, whereas this one here has mainly homes and businesses. So every route's a little bit different, and you can get a quick preview just by holding your mouse over it, which is really cool, and will give you a lot of information about your area. Okay? Now let's say you want to add mailing routes to your campaign. All you do is you point your mouse at it and you click on it. It will turn blue, which will indicate that you have selected that route for your campaign. So literally, this is point and click direct mail. In the right-hand corner here, you're going to see a selection summary, and this will keep a running total for you of how many mailboxes you've targeted. Okay, so you can see as I add more routes, that number increases. Now to remove a route, all you do is point and click on it again. Okay, so just point and click to add or remove. With Everydoor Direct Mail, your mailers will deliver to every residential mailbox in the carrier route that you select. So every residential mailbox will receive your offer. Businesses and P.O. boxes are optional. If you'd like to include them, you simply check the boxes and they will be included or excluded, whatever your preference is. Okay? So aside from pointing and clicking on the different routes, there's a few other ways to target. One is drive time. So let's say you're a pizzeria and you want to reach everyone within 10 minutes of your restaurant for delivery purposes. Well, using the same type of GPS data that would be found in your car, you can see the outline of the 10-minute drive time. So in this case, you would want to choose all the areas within that drive time. Another method is to target by radius. And when you're targeting by radius, you can choose 1, 2, 3, 5, or 10-mile radius. So if you just want to do kind of a perimeter around your business, if you know that you service about a 3-mile range in terms of your market, you could do that and check everyone within 3 miles. Okay? Now, what's helpful in a lot of cases, and this is my favorite part, is the new demographic targeting feature that we have available. Okay? So for today's example, let's pick a seasonal type business. Let's pick a tax firm. Tax season is coming up, and a lot of tax firms are starting their marketing strategy now. So let's say you're a tax firm and you want to reach households with an income of $75,000 and up that own their homes. So let's choose homeowners. And let's say homes that have children. Okay, so let's pretend that makes up our ideal customer profile. Well, you can choose up to 3 demographic criteria and click Show on Map. And in just a moment, this map is going to turn a bunch of different colors. What we've done is we have heat mapped the entire local market to find out where the best match to that ideal customer profile live. So with the heat map, the darker the red color, the better the match. Whereas the lighter color, these yellow color areas, are less of a match. Now, what's really cool about this is not only does it show you where you should potentially get the most return out of your marketing, but if you hold your mouse over the routes now, in the currently viewing carrier route info box here, it will show you over 51% of this route is an ideal match to your demographic profile. Here's one that's 64%. And then you'll find others that are less, okay, especially as you go down to the different colored areas. So what this is doing is saying, all right, this area, even though it's pretty close by, is a very low match to my customer profile, whereas this area here or here is a huge, potential market. So, if you're a pizzeria, you probably don't care, everybody loves pizza, right? Or most people love pizza. So you just want to mail to everyone and just do a true saturation mailing. But if you're a tax firm or maybe a cosmetic dental practice or some type of healthcare provider, or even a roofer or someone that wants to deal with households, and homeowners, you can find out, where the best place to spend your marketing dollars are and where you should send your direct mail campaign. And for what it's worth, from experience, anything over a 40% match is absolutely a great place to mail your offer to. If you get into the 50s, 60s, or higher in terms of match percentage, it's just awesome. That's a really good thing. So you want to make sure that you do targeting that makes sense for your business. Use all of your local knowledge and firsthand experience with customers to help you define where and how you mail. Okay. So once you finish making your selections, you can see we've got about 12,000 plus here. You click Save and Continue, and you name it. So I'm going to name this Households, 75K Income, Children, just so I can remember it for later. And then we're going to hit Save and Continue. Okay, and once you hit Save and Continue, just a quick note, under your account, under Maps, your map that you just created will always be saved and accessible at a later time. So if you ever want to order the campaign again and hit the same people, or if you want to edit the map later, you can do that. It will always be saved. So that's really helpful. So once you've completed the targeting, we get into the product and options around the product. We have 4 oversized mailers available. There's a 6 1/4 by 9 postcard, which we call the workhorse. It's by far the most popular. It fits kind of every need. It's just a great format that will stand out in the mail. We've also got a giant full-page 8 1/2 by 11 postcard, and this goes in the mailbox unfolded. So you can imagine a full-page postcard in the mailbox is going to get a lot of visibility. That's a great option if you want to really, really stand out, or if you just got multiple products or services that you need to promote and need more real estate. That's a great fit. If you want to do a menu or a folded brochure, there's a giant 11 by 17 format that can be folded in half or tri-folded, and it's a great way to deliver a nice large format brochure. It's also used by thousands of restaurants, like takeout restaurants, pizzerias across the country, and that's a very, very popular format. If you just want to send out a simple coupon or offer, there is a 4 1/4 by 11 postcard available. This is also very popular, and it's basically a long, skinny postcard, but it stands out because it's such a long, unique format, and it's ideal if you just have 1, maybe 2 coupons or offers to promote. Okay? So for today's example, let's go ahead and just go with the 6 1/4 by 9. You click Order Now, and then we're into the design and product options. So you can see the product is automatically carried over along with the correct number of total deliveries. So whenever you create your map, the number will automatically carry over to make it easy for you. So we're going to mail 12,799 postcards. Now, let's say you want extra copies for your office or your business. You can type in how many copies you need. Whatever addresses are in your account, you can choose an address to send them to, and that will get you extra copies that are not mailed. They're just shipped directly to you. For paper options, we print on a industry standard, commercial stock. It's a 7-point. There's a coated or uncoated, which means kind of glossy or a non-glossy format. 99% of the users we work with do the coated. It's just got like a standard type gloss finish. It's nothing over the top. It's very cost effective. It looks great. It serves almost every purpose you can imagine. Then we get to the design option. Again, there's 3 options, right? So you can upload your own files. You can choose a free template. Or in this case, for $100, you can get a professional designer to custom design your postcard from scratch. So very affordable compared to most of the rates, that are out there. So if you need that, you can get it. For today's example, let's do the free template. I want to show you how that works. So let's choose a template. And again, you can sort, you can browse by category, or you can just type in a keyword. So let's pretend we're a dental practice, right? So I'm just going to type in dental. Hit search, and there we go. We've got some great looking templates that are the correct size, the 6 1/4 by 9 postcard. So whatever options you select, and whatever keywords you search for, you're going to see results that fit that need. So that makes it real easy. Let's take a look at this template here. This looks nice. Very clean, very professional. It's got a great image on it. The second I get this, I'm going to know it's a dental practice. Here's the back. And again, this will be customized for you with offers and anything you want to add to it. You basically just send us your logo, your text, your offers. We put it all together for you free of charge. So once you find a template that you like, you hit select this template. There it is. It's added to the order, and we hit continue to delivery options. All right, so here's where we plan how we want these delivered. For today's example, I'm going to do a one-time mailing. If you want to reach the same audience more than once, so they call that multiple impressions, you can have the same postcard or offer delivered to the same people more than once. There is an additional fee to do that, of course, so just keep that in mind. But for today, we'll just do a one-time mailing. Now, you can choose for all of your pieces to mail out at once. So if you just want to do one, huge blast and everyone gets them kind of at the same time, you can do that. But let's say, you want to split these 12,000 plus pieces up into 4 drops. So let's say by doing that, it would make it easier for your staff to handle, the new calls and customers that come in, and you want to split it up. Well, you could say, no, I don't want to mail them all at once, and then split them up into 2, 3, 4, however many drops you want to do. There is an additional $99 fee per each additional drop. So the first one, there's no additional fee, obviously, it's just included. But the second, third, fourth drops, etc., there's $99 additional fee. And the reason for that is we have to redo the paperwork for you and get them to the post office again for each of those additional drops. So we do it all for you. It's easy, but just keep in mind there is a small fee if you want to split it up that way. And this option is used quite a bit, especially if you're new to direct mail and you're mailing 10,000 plus pieces. Space it out, maybe do 2 drops, 3 drops, or 4 drops. Give yourself some breathing room so that you can make sure that the new customers you do get, that you service them very well. Otherwise you might get slammed and you might not have the inventory or staff available to really give them the experience you want. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Again, for today's example, let's just do a straightforward campaign, one-time mailing, everything going at once. And then once you make those selections, you can choose from the built-in calendar when you want them to deliver. So again, thinking about timing, let's pretend in this case we are a fitness, a gym or a fitness center. Let's say we know everybody wants to get in shape after the new year, right? A lot of people make their New Year's resolution, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to get healthier, I'm going to be in better shape. Well, given that industry, your offer might perform best if you deliver it right after the new year. So this is typically a date range when everyone is back from the holiday traveling. So, they're back home, they're back into the routine, they're checking their mail, but they're committed and they're kind of gung-ho on, I'm going to get in shape, I'm going to be healthier. So this might be an ideal time to deliver your direct mail campaign. Okay? So you can choose whenever you want them delivered. It'll give you all the available options based on, the selections you've made up to this point. So in terms of, do we have to design it for you, or are you ready to go with print-ready files? It will give you the available delivery times based on your options. Okay? So once you make all these selections for delivery, you hit proceed to checkout. And it's going to compile all that information, and it's going to give you a quick summary of your campaign. We'll see here that we've got the 6 1/4 by 9 postcard, mailing to 12,799 homes, one time. All that looks great. There is an option if you want to reach new movers every month that you can go ahead and add this to your order. What this will do is, in the map that you created, every month, all the new people that move into that area, it will send them a welcome to the neighborhood postcard. And, it's a postcard that we'll customize for you, with your message. But if you want to add that, it's a very easy way to every month, reach new prospective customers. Okay, so that's optional. From here, you continue to check out, and we will be at the last part of the process. So on this next page, we're just simply reviewing the order. Make sure all the information in the template or your design option looks correct. You'll see a thumbnail of the map that we created and the areas that we're targeting. It will also give you a breakdown of the zip codes and routes that you've targeted, and the financial piece to this, along with the extra copies. If you do have a promo code, you can apply it here. So everybody on this webinar today is going to get a promo code which you will be able to use to save $50. So that will be helpful. Here you can add comments, whatever you want to relate to our team or your designer. You can just add that in here. And then you scroll down and you get to the payment information. One quick note about the payment information: make sure that your billing address matches the credit card billing address that you're going to use. That will ensure that your campaign is processed successfully and make life easy. In terms of the payment options, we've actually got 2 great ways to get started. You can either pay in full and just wrap everything up today, or if it's helpful, you can finance your payments. You would put down a deposit, and then you'd have to pay additional payments before each mailing goes out. So in this case, we're doing one mailing, so you would do a down payment and then pay the postage, the second payment here right before they mail out. But if you had, 2, 3, maybe 4 drops, you would see additional payments, and it would break it down even further. So again, you can pay in full or finance it, whatever's most helpful. You enter your credit card information. This is all standard stuff. You agree to the terms, and you hit complete your order. Once you hit complete your order, you will get a receipt sent to you via email. You will also get a order confirmation page that appears to let you know that your campaign has been launched successfully. And even better, at this point, you are completely done with your campaign. From here, we do everything for you. We manage the entire design, printing, prep, and delivery process through the USPS for you. You do not have to do any paperwork or take any further actions. So it's that simple. So I spent a lot of time explaining this today, but when you're doing this process yourself, you'll breeze through it in 5-10 minutes. It's really simple to do. And I invite you all to get onto everydoredirectmail.com, check out the mapping tool, look into your local area and all the different options that exist. So that's how you do it from start to finish. Anybody can build their own campaign and do so on a budget. It's very easy, and it will ensure that your pieces get to the right prospects at the right time. Okay? So now what I'd like to do is continue with the presentation. Let me get back into my slide mode here. All right. And we are going to introduce Wendy Urquhart, who is our VP of Business Development. Again, she works with all of our big partnership opportunities. She works with some of the biggest brands in the world, and she is just an expert on this stuff. So I'm going to turn it over to her now so that she can introduce herself. And any of you that work for larger corporations, franchisors, or organizations, if you need a solution for your members or your franchisees, for example, she is the person to get in touch with. So Wendy, welcome aboard, and it's all yours.
Great. Thanks, Chris, and thanks everyone for joining us today. So now that you see how you can create and order EDDM from everydoredirectmail.com, here's what happens on the back end once you place your order. First, we send your job to print once we receive the print-ready art files that you've uploaded to your order, or once your custom or template design job is approved. Please know that we don't send anything to print unless it qualifies for Every Door Direct Mail. So if you submit a file and you're concerned whether or not it qualifies, we do not send anything to print unless it has been reviewed by a designer and we know that it meets EDDM standards. Second, we handle all of the EDDM postal paperwork and bundling for you. Remember, as Chris mentioned earlier in the presentation, EDDM has to be bundled in lots of 100 by carrier route, and each bundle requires a unique facing slip with instructions on how it is to be delivered. With everydoredirectmail.com, we do all of that for you. Last, we ship your EDDM pieces directly to the post office that services the specific routes that you've selected. They're shipped in priority mail containers. That pricing is all included in our all-inclusive rates. And by sending it via priority mail, we actually have two additional benefits that we pass on to you. One, it allows us to track the mail to the local branch if there's ever a question on whether or not it arrived. And it also helps us to ensure that your mail is delivered to the routes that you've selected fast. So you've seen the end-to-end solution on how you can place independent campaigns right through everydoredirectmail.com from the order engine and then what happens behind the scenes. Now, while Caradel owns and operates everydoredirectmail.com, we also white label this platform for agencies, franchises, and associations. And some of the biggest brands in the world have leveraged our platform to make EDDM marketing easier, more effective, and more affordable for the audiences they serve. So if you're on the call and you work for an agency or you provide marketing services to a specific vertical, you can resell EDDM under your own brand with our white label solution. If you're a franchise, we can customize a site for you with your very own franchise branded templates, and we'll handle all of the sales, customer support, and design updates for you. So that really frees up a lot of marketing time and effort on your end. And if you represent an association, this is a great benefit that you can offer to your members. So if you fall into any of these categories, agency, franchise, or association, and you want to learn more about the white label program, just visit the partnership page at everydoredirectmail.com, submit an inquiry, and your message will go right to my inbox. And now we can actually go over to the FAQ section. I'm going to hand this back over to Chris, and thanks again for joining us.
Thank you, Wendy. So that was great. So again, any of you that think might be a good fit for our partnership program, go to everydoredirectmail.com, click on the partnership tab, fill out the little form. It takes 2 seconds, and it will go right to Wendy, and she'll follow up with you. So thanks again, Wendy. So let's go over the answers to the most frequently asked questions. First one is pretty obvious. Everyone wants to know, how much does it cost? Well, we have simple flat rate pricing, and the pricing is dependent upon the size of the piece that you selected to mail, and the quantity. So in other words, the more you mail, the lower the price per piece. Most campaigns that we deliver for our advertisers and business owners are somewhere between 5,000 and 10,000 pieces on average. So you'll be somewhere around 30, 31, 32 cents per piece on average. Smaller campaigns are a little bit more per piece, but more affordable overall. And then if you're doing larger mailings, like a lot of our clients do, maybe you're mailing 25,000, 50,000, or sometimes even 100,000 plus pieces, your price can drop as low as 27 cents per piece. The next question that we get asked all the time is, how long does delivery take? Well, generally the entire process takes from 2 to 4 weeks to deliver. So when you're launching a direct mail campaign, just like anything else that you're doing, it probably needs a schedule. So order and launch your campaign in advance. Give yourself some lead time to do a great job on the design process or get everything ready. Just make sure that when you launch your campaign, you're not rushing into it. Give yourself some wiggle room there so that everyone can do a great job. Now, if you do have your own artwork files in PDF format and they're ready to print, your turnaround time is going to be on the much shorter end of that 2 to 4 weeks. So sometimes it can even be quicker. But if we have to design something for you from scratch, of course, it's going to take a little bit more time. You're going to want to see a proof and make sure it's right and have some back and forth with the designer to get you an excellent result that you're happy with. So just keep that in consideration when you're planning. Give yourself enough lead time to do a great job. Next question, does my mail deliver to every address? With Every Door Direct Mail, your mailers will deliver to every residential address and mailbox within the selected carrier routes. So if you're mailing to a carrier route or more, let's say you're mailing to 12 carrier routes, every single residential mailbox within those 12 carrier routes is going to get your offer. You must deliver to all residential addresses. That's part of the deal with Every Door. The business and P.O. boxes, again, are totally optional. You can either include or exclude business and P.O. boxes when you're building your campaign, and that's totally optional and up to you. We also get asked, does my mail deliver inside of an envelope in one of those coupon packs, or is it inside of a local publication or magazine? And the answer is no. With Every Door Direct Mail, your mail is delivered as solo mail. So the coupon packs where you'll see, like 20 or 30 or 40 different ads inside them, that's called shared mail, where everybody, all the advertisers are sharing that format together. While there's benefits to doing it that way, it's much less effective because someone has to find your ad in this mix of all these dozens of other ads. And if you're in there with competitors, you're very unlikely to get that, that customer. It's just hard to find you in the first place, and then it's, they have to pick you out of all the different competing ads. But with solo mail, such as with Every Door Direct Mail, your giant postcard or flyer or brochure or whatever you're sending is in the mailbox loose by itself. Anybody that is sorting or looking through their mail is going to see it. So no matter what, you're virtually guaranteed to make an impression. And when it comes to marketing and using your budget effectively, it all comes down to return and awareness and getting your message in front of the right people. So EDDM delivers solo. And we also get asked, so kind of a caveat to this question, a lot of people say, is it cheaper if I do my postcards or flyers just in black and white or maybe 1 or 2 colors? And the answer is no. We run commercial grade printing presses. So if you can almost imagine like what a newspaper would print on, we're printing on this huge commercial printing press. Everything is printed in full color. Now, if you want to do black and white, that's fine, but it's the exact same price as doing full color front and back. So use that to your advantage. You're getting commercial grade results. You're using that big high quality printing press, and you're going to look every bit like those big brands out there. So use that to your advantage. At this time, I'm going to take a few questions that we've got off the chat here. So one question that sticks out: what is the postage rate to Every Door Direct Mail, and do we save money using the retail method or doing it yourself? So So the question is, basically, how much is the postage to do it myself? So the postage rate, I believe it's 18.3 cents per piece if you use the retail method. That postage rate is actually higher than the postage rate you get if you use the all-inclusive method. So keep that in mind. Now, depending on the size of your campaign, your skills and kind of knowledge around direct mail, you may be able to save a few pennies in certain cases by using the retail method and doing it yourself, but it might come at the expense of the time investment you have to make. This stuff is not quick. It takes a lot of planning and paperwork to execute. So it really depends. It's very situational. If you want to do everything yourself, if you've got time to do that and the knowledge, or you want to learn, you can certainly do it yourself. If you do save a little bit of money, it's just going to be a couple pennies. It's not going to be a substantial amount. But it does make sense in some situations, so you need to consider that for yourself and think about what your time is worth. Most people that use Everydoor direct mail go the all-inclusive method just because they don't have a lot of time. They don't want the hassles and responsibility if something goes wrong. So all-inclusive makes more sense. And generally speaking, the all-inclusive method, since it has a lower postage rate and there's a lot of efficiencies built into it, you get about the same rates anyway, and it's just easier. So especially if you're mailing 5,000 or more pieces, use the all-inclusive method to get the best deal and save yourself a lot of time and hassle. Another question we get is, let's see, I've already kind of answered that in terms of the quantity limits. Now, what I will mention is that with Everydoor direct mail all-inclusive, there is a minimum requirement. So this is, I'm glad someone mentioned that. So with all-inclusive, you have to mail 1,000 pieces or more. If you're doing less than 1,000 pieces, you need to use the retail method, or just do a larger campaign so that you can use the all-inclusive method. So keep that in mind. All-inclusive is meant for people that are doing 1,000 pieces or more. Another question just popped up. What if I've already printed my postcards? So if you've already pre-printed your postcards or flyers, you have to use the retail method. All-inclusive only works if the campaign is truly going to be all-inclusive. So if you have your design, that's fine, but the printing has to be included for you with the all-inclusive method. If you've already printed your pieces, you have to use EDDM retail. All right, so it looks like that's all the questions that haven't previously been answered throughout the course of the demo. So I'm going to go ahead and move forward here and get to wrapping up. Here is a $50 off coupon code for everybody attending this webinar today. I want to thank you again for registering and participating. We had a fantastic audience. Over 300 seats were grabbed, so just phenomenal attendance. Your promo code is webinar50. So again, webinar50, all one word. Enter that during checkout, and you will instantly save $50 off your campaign. If you're new to Everydoor direct mail or you're ready to launch your next campaign, this will apply and save you money. Again, we've also attached the EDDM marketing checklist as a free download. It's a PDF that will walk you through creating a great direct mail piece that's set up for success. And that checklist, you can just kind of go down the checklist and make sure you've got all of your I's dotted and T's crossed. So that will be helpful to you. With that, I want to say thank you. A recording of this webinar will be created and emailed to everybody shortly. We also can send you the slides if you'd like the slides. So again, thank you so much. This has been excellent for me. I hope it's been excellent for you as well. And we'll see you soon. Thanks so much.